ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing the purports. Just before we start, for a few minutes, yesterday we discussed the 10 topics. I'll just briefly tell how these 10 topics are indicating Ashraya. That is the 9 topics are indicating, like Atra Sarga Visargasya, Sthanam Poshanamutaya, Manvantarishankata, Nirodha Muktirashya. So for just 5-10 minutes we will discuss, then we'll continue with our purports. So we'll see how these 9 topics are indicating the 10th topic briefly, and then we'll continue with our purport. So here we see that first is Sarga, and now basically Sarga, it is telling about how Tatanmatras, Mahatattva, Sutratattva, Ahankar Tattva, and all these things, Manas, Buddhi, and all the demigods, the senses, how they are created, and they're all coming from God. And we can study all these elements, we can distinguish one element from another. But at the end, we have to understand from where all these elements are coming from. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very specific. In Sankhya Yoga, they describe about the elements, and in some scriptures, these descriptions are more complete, even than Srimad Bhagavatam also. But what is speciality? Very detailedly they are explained in Sankhya philosophy. But they are not described there as an indication of 10th topic. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, as an indication of Bhagavatam, they are described. What is that described? That without any, why they are described in Bhagavatam, that is also important. Ultimately, to tell that by going beyond, because everything is from Ahankar, all these elements from Tamasic Ahankar. So by going beyond Ahankar, we can reach the highest stage of consciousness. So that is the first point. How Sarga is connected to the 10th topic, Krishna. It is basically telling that all this creation is because of Ahankar. When we go beyond this, there is something beyond this. The higher stages, when you cross this Ahankar, we can reach the highest level of consciousness. That is the refuge. The refuge is basically outside this material creation. That is Krishna. To tell this, we understand through this Sarga. And now we have Visarga. Visarga is secondary creation. The secondary creation is all material bodies. When Lord Brahma, he creates the constellations, planetary systems, body of this universe, and then body of all living entities. Now, what is this? How it is indicating 10th topic, that is Krishna, Ashraya, refuge is Krishna. It is describing as, it is indicating the will of God. So, it is explained that like Diti and Kashyapa story, because if you see that it comes in the Visarga is the 4th canto. So where we see Diti and Kashyapa, 3rd canto also, and 4th canto also a little bit. Of course, all topics are there. In this, we see that Kashyapa and Diti, they and Aditi and all. Now Kashyapa is the source of Visarga, because he is the secondary creator, he is Prajapati. And when he connects with Diti, the demons are born. And he don't feel happy, but he knows that this is the will of Lord. And it is Lord beyond everything. And he associates with Aditi, then demigods are created. So Kashyap Muni is creating, but according to the will of Lord. That is the main thing. And he is the original organizer of everything, and he wanted, he didn't want actually Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu to born. Srimad Bhagavatam explains how the body with all its karma is directed by Lord, and that direction is directly Supreme Lord. So then they are explaining all these, how these bodies are created by various energies as indicated by the theme. So ultimately it is connected, dependent on Krishna. That is also Ashraya. So our bodies, however they are formed, it is depending on Krishna. That is manifestation in the body. and presence of Lord in the body is the main root cause of this body. So that is Visarga. And then we have Sthanam. How this Sthanam, the topic which is explained. So ultimately, this book is explaining only one topic, that is Krishna only. And it is giving, like yesterday Balaramjit was telling, that how we have focus lights in the altar, which are showing face, lotus feet, thigh, and all these things, different parts of the body of the Lord, deity. And we'll be able to understand very nicely and we can take darshan. Similarly, all these topics are focusing on the 10th topic and they are giving a different indication of the Lord in that way. So this is what Prabhuji explained. So it was nice. So here also we'll see that Nisthanam is this is certain pattern of order in this world. So this is there is proper harmony, order, and so many amazing things that are created here. And this is all by Lord only. So now it is all, and always all the living entities are always being in the same position. Like monkeys have always been monkeys, and dinosaurs are always been dinosaurs, because all are created together by the will of Lord. They are positioned according to their consciousness. Therefore, there are some constant parameters, and within the parameters only everything is created. The Lord is said. The Lord maintains this metaphysical balance, we can say. So this is the order of the universe. Like there are Daityas, Danavas, Adityas, and like that. So, and then we have so this is the we can see it is following the plan of Lord also. We are set according to that position. This is all, in that way we'll understand how it is connected to the Lord. And then there is Poshanam is maintenance. We need support. How to support? By the grace of Lord. So Poshanam is that we are all completely dependent on grace of Lord. That is Poshanam also, we are depending on the Lord is Ash. So Poshanam directly, Krishna interferes in life of his devotees, especially. That is also another thing. And even if devotee makes a mistake, the mercy of Lord is still with him. That is also given in portion of this chapters we'll get in 6th canto, nice stories. Even if it deviates from the spiritual path, in spite of this, the Lord supports him and shows special mercy. So he eventually comes back. So this is how it is indicating Krishna, how he takes care of his devotees, even in Poshanam also. Now the next topic comes is Uti. Uti is we discuss what is karma vasanas, and here uh, it, the karma depends entirely on the Lord only. So on his mercy, and all karma can be changed. So this actually the main important theme of this section is to tell us how karma can be changed if we are fortunate enough to meet the representative of the Lord, that is devotees. When we come in contact with devotees, our karma will we can be changed. So this is a very important understanding. So there is only one path at our disposal, that is sadhu sangha. So this is what is told, uh, and also it is said that of course there is um, next comes is manvantara. So manvantara is very important. Manvantara is, we discuss, is sadharma. Srila Prabhupada said dharma is eternal dharma, because dharma. Now there are so many things. There are in Mahabharata also it is explained. So uh, of course Sadharma, it is not relative dharma, it is absolute dharma. Dharma is unchanged. Now dharma is explained in Mahabharata and all, but it is shown as independent of Lord. But whereas Bhagavatam, it shows how dharma is dependent on Lord. So he said that essence of all dharma is sadharma. It is not relative, it is absolute and unchangeable dharma. That means an activity or uh, activity performed to return to Supreme Lord, like that. And Then we have next, so then we have the Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma has basically explained it is not independent, dependent on Lord, and it helps us to become closer to Lord also. This is another point. And then we have the Ishanukata, because therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is our main book. That's why, and Ishanukata is where all the pastimes of Lord are described. And only reason the Lord appears is to give mercy. So it is also in that way connected to Krishna only. So essence is Isha Anukata. So is coming of the Lord to endow, to bestow his mercy to his devotees in that way. And then there are two more topics, 8th and 9th, that is Nirodha and Mukti. Nirodha basically is destruction or annihilation. That is cessation. Now, why this topic is given? The reason is that the activity or cessation, uh, creation cease to exist. So when it happens, when Lord goes to sleep, this is now everything else goes to sleep, because it is specific. It is said that when he closes eyes, then everybody has to close eyes. So how special he is. So to understand that part. So when what happens when he closes eyes? All energy is drawn inwards. To explain that how Lord, when he closes eyes, energy goes inside. When he opens, energy comes. So it is very important, rejuvenating process for all of us to sleep. When the day ends, we want to take rest. Now, Lord also closes eyes, and everything around is instantly drawn. Therefore, he is the ashray for all the energies. And then we have Mukti. Mukti is Mukti Ritva Anyata Rupam Surupena Vyavasthiti. So it is said that Mukti is we have to again give up our material gross bodies and come back to the Supreme Lord. That is what is Mukti. And in that way, it is all connected to the 10th topic. So just briefly, I want to tell how these are all connected. So, okay, we will continue our discussion on the purports. So, Kova Bhagavatastasya Punyashlokedya Karmanaha Shuddhik Kamo Shunyat Kali Malapaham. So we discussed that these are three main topics of the first canto. And now here we have the 9th shloka was the first question, and 11th is the second question. So 9th shloka, it was asked what is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general, and 11th it is asked essence of all scriptures. And then in the 12th shloka we saw that why Lord appeared in the womb of Devaki and Vasudev, son of Vasudev. And so these are the three questions till now. And now in this purport, Prabhupada is telling how the age of Kali is most condemned due to its quarrelsome features. So we have just studied this. We'll go for the next shloka, 17. So this is the fourth question they ask. So now they ask about the Purusha avatars, the Lord's creation pastimes. So there are Leela pastimes, which shows his relation with the devotees and all. But there are also pastimes of Lord's creation, his relation with the material nature. So that they want to know. So Tasya karmani udharani parigitani suribhi purina shraddadhanana nilaya dadat kala. It is said his transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performed in his various incarnations. So, purport. The personality of God is never inactive as some less intelligent persons suggest. His works are magnificent and magnanimous. His creation, both material and spiritual, are all wonderful and contain all variegatedness. They are described nicely by such liberated souls as Sri Narada, Vyasa, Valmiki, Devala, Asita, Madhva, Sri Chaitanya, Ramanuja, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, Sridhara, Vishwanatha, Baladeva, Bhakti Vinoda, Siddhanta Saraswati, and many other learned and self-realized souls. These creations, both material and spiritual, are full of opulence, beauty, and knowledge. But the spiritual realm is more magnificent due to its being full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. The material creations are manifestation for some time as perverted shadow of spiritual kingdom and can be likened to cinemas. They attract people of less intelligent caliber who are attracted by false things. Such foolish men have no information of reality and they take it for granted that the false material manifestation is all in all. But more intelligent men, guided by sages like Vyasa and Narada, know that the eternal kingdom of God is more delightful, larger, and eternally full of bliss and knowledge. Those who are not conversant with the activities of the Lord and His transcendental realm are sometimes favored by Lord in His adventures as incarnations wherein He displays the eternal bliss of His association in the transcendental world. By such activities, He attracts the conditioned souls of the material world. Some of these conditioned souls are engaged in the false enjoyment of material senses, and others in simply negating their real life in the spiritual world. These less intelligent people are known as karmis or fruitive workers, and jnanis are dry mental speculators. But above these two classes of men is the transcendentalist known as Satvata, or the devotees who is busy neither with rampant material activity nor with material speculation. He is engaged in the positive service of the Lord and thereby he derives the highest spiritual benefit unknown to the karmis and jnanis. So, as the supreme control of both the material and spiritual world, the Lord has different incarnations of unlimited categories, incarnations like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prutu, and Vyasa are his material qualitative incarnations, but his incarnations like Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, and Vamana are his transcendent incarnations. Lord Sri Krishna is contained of all incarnations and is therefore the cause of all causes. So, anybody has any comments, questions till now? We can move ahead. So here, basically, what Prabhupada is trying to explain that we have to have faith on such liberated great acharyas. Now, people may say, why we should hear from others? We should do research ourselves and try to find out things. Now, they may give the example, like we may say, "Arey, why you have to reinvent the wheel? It's already there. You can take care of it. The already acharyas have given." They say, no, no. See, now there is a teacher who is teaching, but he may be happy in teaching. Okay, why it is called cinema? Okay, I'll tell that part. Now, the point is, first thing is that they say that why we have to stuck. Okay, we may say we are learning and we are teaching what acharyas have taught, but why don't you work and do a research? Like say scientists have made some research and he explained. Now a school teacher is teaching that. Now instead of remaining a school teacher, you yourself become a scientist and you yourself do a research and you will know something more. Why you are just stuck up with teaching what is already there or learning what is already there. Now there is a difference. First is like say uh, laptop is there. So now I no need to create another. I need not invent another laptop. Already it is there. Somebody has worked hard, made a laptop. I can utilize to engage in whatever service I have. Instead of spending time to make another new version of laptop, I am engaging it and I am getting the complete benefit, whatever I want to achieve. And another point is that all the basic things, many of the things we just follow. We don't do research. Many things work on faith, and we can put faith on such great acharyas who are flawless, who never cheat. So another argument we can give is, okay, we don't. People may say, why you follow blindly? We are not. Why you put blind faith? Because many things in life we don't have to. We don't do any research. We also follow it like that only. Like say, to know who is. We accept he's my father, he's my mother, she is my mother. We never do any DNA test to verify it. We just accepted it. Why we accepted? That is faith. That means many things in the life we are accepting out of faith only. It's not that we do research in every field. When it comes to Lord and spiritual subjects, people say, no, no, I want to find out my way. Already acharyas have done. They are great souls. They are so much realized. They are completely dedicated in the direction and they have achieved that relation. Why don't we follow it? Why to do your research and unnecessarily waste time and end up in nowhere with all these materialistic mentalities and all these things? That's what Prabhupada is telling. So this all material activity and material speculation. So this is where people are stuck, and they feel that no, no, no. It's all mental. I want to create my own things. It's not creation. It's foolishness. Now, when Prabhupada is telling it's like a cinema, he's telling basically what happens is our mind, Atma, is observing the activities on the screen of mind. Atma as such is independent. It does not do anything. It is actually aloof from all these things. It is only an observer. Like we watch a TV, we are watching a cinema. Now what happens is we people get stuck up with these characters and they feel emotions when they are watching the TV, when they're watching the movie. They're sad sometimes, happy sometimes, get thrilled sometimes. Why this happens? Because they identify with what is happening in the cinema. Similarly, mind also is sorry, the soul is also seeing the cinema on the screen of mind, and whatever mind says, good, bad, and ahankar says, I want, I don't want, all these things. So, and this is mental world is all this that soul is observing all these things that is happening. It's like a cinema and getting affected by what is happening. In that way, Prabhupada is trying to help us understand. Even though it is happening, but we need not take it so seriously. That is the point. Not that it is not happening. Things are happening in the world. We may get pain, we get all these things. What we should do is not to take it seriously. We have to take something spiritual subjects seriously, like that. So this was the fourth question they asked about the Purusha avatars. Before that is directly about Krishna. Yeah, that's why we want to say. Yeah, we cannot repay because they have done all the research work. we are we are nicely reaping the fruits. We are benefited by the fruits of their hard work. Yes, thank you. And then the first three questions. First is what will give the ultimate good. Second is essence of scriptures. Third is about Krishna, why he appeared. Fourth is about Purusha avatars. And sixth will be about fourth is fifth will be about Leela avatars, and sixth will be where Dharma took shelter. So I'm just telling the two questions that are going to come. So here this shloka is asking about the fifth question. This shloka. अत्याख्या हि हरेर्धैमन् अवतारा कथा शुभा लीला विदधाता स्वैरम् ईश्वरस्यात्ममायया. O Vaisuta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastime of the Supreme God's multi-incarnations, such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the supreme controller, performed by his internal powers. So here they are asking about the auspicious adventure and pastimes of the Lord. That means various incarnations and pastimes. That is how Lord appears. Of course, in previous purport also Prabhupada is telling that Krishna material qualities manifestation and his Swamshas are the so other incarnations are explained. And here for the creation maintains destruction of material world, the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, himself appears in many thousands of forms of incarnations, and the specific adventures found in those transcendental forms are all auspicious. Both those who are present during such activities and those who hear the transcendental narrations of such activities are benefited. So that is the reason Lord comes to benefit all the living entities. When he performed also that time, Lord Rama, he benefited everybody in Ayodhya and that time whoever is there. And now also when we hear Ramayana, we get benefited like that. It's all Krishna who is coming and doing all these things for us. So we should always connect to Ashraya. Ashraya is Krishna. So everything is connected to Krishna. So questions are also very universal questions. They are not asking very uh, like other Puranas. This is very universal questions that are asked. So here we have 5 questions. Purushavataras, Leelavataras, ultimate good, essence of scriptures, and why Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki and son of Vasudeva. Now, now here, uh, now what they say, this is very important. They express their eagerness. Vayam tuna vittutpyama uttama shloka vikrame yachrinvatam rasajnanam swadu swadu pade pade. This is a very important verse to remember. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by the hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationship with Him relish sharing of His pastimes at every moment. So, very nice purport Prabhupada writes. There is a great difference between mundane stories, fiction, or history and the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The history of the whole universe contains references to the pastimes of the incarnation of the Lord. The Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and the Puranas are histories of bygone ages recorded in connection with the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord and therefore remain fresh even after repeated reading. For example, anyone may read Bhagavad Gita Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly throughout his life and yet find it find in them new light of information. Mundane news is static, whereas transcendental news is dynamic, in as much as the spirit is dynamic and matter is static. Those who have developed a taste for understanding the transcendental subject matter are never tired of hearing such narrations. One is quickly satiated by mundane activities, but no one is satiated by transcendental or devotional activities. Uttama Shloka indicates that literature which is not meant for any sense. Mundane literature is in the mode of darkness or ignorance, whereas transcendental literature is quite different. Transcendental literature is above the mode of goodness, and its light becomes more luminous with progressive reading and realization of the transcendental subject matter. The so called liberated persons are never satisfied by the repetition of the word Aham Brahmasmi. Such artificial realization of Brahman becomes hackneyed, and so to relish real pleasure, they turn to the narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are not so fortunate turn to altruism and worldly philanthropy. This means Mayavadi philosophy is mundane, whereas the philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita is transcendental. Say yesterday's news or 1 week news and 10 days news, will not be able to read that newspapers. Just news. But Bhagavatam, people are reading from thousands of years and before that also. Still, people can read. Again, the same pastime. Many of you might have read all these stories. Again, we are able to discuss and we are able to get a new understanding of the same topics. This is the difference. And of course, in the fifth chapter, Tadvag Visargo Janata we will have elaborate discussion. Prabhupada tells what is mundane literature, what is spiritual literature. Maybe in that section we will have very elaborate discussion. Because Prabhupada also makes many points in that. And any discussions? Anybody want to share anything? Yeah, I'm just trying. We have 3 more shlokas. I thought we'll complete them. Then we'll be successfully completing the first chapter before the first verse of Krishna Chakrita complete. So that's why I'm just. We have 4 more verses. We'll see today. We'll be able to complete this. And I'm giving some brief discussion. We'll see some very important is there. We'll try to discuss on them. Until now, everything is okay. Everybody? You can also share. It's not that I should only share. It's a discussion. You all can share. If you have any nice points to share with other devotees, it's a service for others from your side. कृतवान् किल कर्माणि सह रामेण केशव अतिमृत्यानि भगवान् गूढः कपट मानुष. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balram, played like a human being and so asked his performance, and he performed many superhuman activities. So now here, before the shloka, they said, we are very eager to hear. We are very eager to hear swadu swadu pade pade. So uttama shloka vikrame yachinvatam rasajnanam swadu swadu. Now they are actually telling specifically that we want to hear about Krishna's pastime. Kritavan kila karmani saha Ramena Keshava. So along with Krishna along with Balram played, we want to hear that. So they're specifically telling. That's why we have major part of Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna's pastimes only. This is 10th canto. Even though it is named 10th canto, but it's 1/3 of Bhagavatam is 10th canto only. Or Krishna's pastime, you can say. After they come in 3rd canto, 11th canto. So the doctrines of anthropomorphism and zoomorphism are never applicable to Sri Krishna, the personality of God. The theory that a man becomes God by dint of penance and austerities is very much rampant nowadays, especially in India. Since Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were dictated by the sages and saints to be personality of Godhead, as indicated in the revealed scriptures. Many unscrupulous men have created their own incarnations. This process of concocting an incarnation of God has become an ordinary business, especially in Bengal. Any popular personality with a few traits of mystic powers will display some feat of jugglery and easily become an incarnation of God by popular vote. Lord Sri Krishna was not that type of incarnation. He was actually the personality of Godhead from the very beginning of his appearance. He appeared before his so-called mother as foam-armed Vishnu. Then, at the request of the mother, he became like a human child and had once left her for another devotee at Gokula, where he was accepted as the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mata. Similarly, Sri Baladev, the counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna, who was considered a human child born of another wife of Sri Vasudeva. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that his birth and deeds are transcendental and that anyone who is so fortunate as to know the transcendental nature of his birth and deeds will at once become liberated and eligible to return to the kingdom of God. So, knowledge of the transcendental nature of birth and deeds of Lord Sri Krishna is sufficient for liberation. In the Bhagavatam, the transcendental nature of Lord is described in 9 cantos, and in the 10th canto, his specific pastimes are taken. All this becomes known as one reads of this literature progresses. It is important to note here, however, that the Lord exhibited his divinity even from the lap of his mother, that his deeds are all superhuman. He lifted Govardhan at the age of 7, and that all these acts definitely prove him to be actually the supreme personality of God. Yet Due to his mystic coverings, he was always accepted as an ordinary human child by his so-called father and mother and other relatives. Whenever such Herculean tasks were performed by him, the father and mother took it otherwise, and they remained satisfied with unflinching parental love for their son. As such, the sages of Naimisharanya described him as apparently resembling a human being, but actually he is the supreme almighty personality of Godhead. Now here, this is a very important point. Of course, many things can be discussed. In this, there are so many theories, and see, 2 points only I'll touch. Prabhupada gave many things. There are some tantrics who show mystic powers and they attract some people saying that. And then people argue also. I have seen this person doing mystic and he has that power, and in front of my eyes he produced some this, so many things. And some people they took a dead boy and he brought them alive. From the village, they took a car, he died, took all the way 300 kilometers, drove to that guru, and then the boy became alive and they brought him. Now we may say, "Arey, how?" But that does not actually make much difference because these mystics and all, even the demons are also having these mystical powers. Hiranyaksha, Ravana, not only that, all the demons who came to Vrindavan, they have much more powerful. They are much more powerful in these terms. Now, uh, now, but that does not prove that. Yeah, they say Ramakrishna incarnation. Yeah, so this is all because they're poor fund of knowledge. Prabhupada's writes, and that should not be any proof for us that he is God. Because mystic power is not a God. Prabhupada, that's why he didn't show any mystic power because he didn't want to attract cheap people. Yeah, yeah, people, he didn't want to attract this audience because if you show mystical powers, people will get attracted to that power. But Prabhupada don't want people to get attracted to him. Prabhupada want people should get attracted to Krishna. That's why they didn't show. So one pastime, I'll tell you about Prabhupada, just one. When in Kumbh Mela, Prabhupada was there, and last part of his life, he was at Kumbh Mela, and then Prabhupada was in his tent inside. So one powerful yogi came. And then one of the disciple who was at the entrance, he said, no, he said, I want to meet. He said, no, you cannot meet. Prabhupada will give darshan in the evening. But this Tantrik, he just looked at the devotee and devotee was stuck. He could not move only. He was just stuck there. And then he went inside, and inside just Prabhupada's room, there was one person, one devotee was standing. He said, no, you cannot go inside. He looked at him. He was also standing. He could not move. And this yogi went inside, and after maybe 20 minutes, he came outside. And then he told to the devotee, I never saw such a powerful person. Your guru is very, very powerful. This fellow is himself very powerful. He could just stun devotees, they could not move. And he appreciated Prabhupada for his power. So devotees have power, but Prabhupada did not want to show because people will get attracted to cheap. Yeah, Rishabdev also, yes. Yes, Rishabdev, since it is Rishabdev also had all powers, but didn't use it since it creates pride and the mind then will get attracted to cheap adoration and it will leave a deviation from bhakti. Yes, thank you. Shyamukund. So, like that, this is, yes, Chandrarekha Maturi.
Prabhuji, who are Purusha Avatar as this avatar? It's called Purusha Avatar.
Purushavatara is Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Kshirodaksha Vishnu, who are meant, who are in the direction of creation of this world, maintenance of this world. Like these incarnations are Purusha, the Paramatma in the heart, the Kshirodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu. These are called Purusha.
Okay, expanding from the Lord.
They are all expansion of Lord only, but they are basically not for performing any leelas. They are in the creations and maintenance.
Okay.
And of course, here Prabhupada is telling how Krishna is seemingly like a human being. It is not. And yeah, and there are so many. Krishna covers with his mystic power. He is performing his pastimes, and here also this which we discussed in the Bhagavatam, the transcendental nature are described in the 10th canto. All other topics are help us to understand that. Kalimagatam Ajnaya Kshetrasmin Vaishnave Vayam Asin Dirgasatrena Katayam Sakshana Hare. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of Godhead, and in this way perform sacrifice. So this is very important. So the reason it is explained why they have sat there and doing it, and Prabhupada writes, in this age of Kali, this age of Kali is not at all suitable for self-realization by the method prescribed in Satyuga, the golden age, or Treta Yuga, Treta or Dwapara Yugas, the silver and copper ages. For self-realization, people in Satyuga living a lifespan of 100,000 years were able to perform prolonged meditation, and in the Treta Yuga, when the duration of life was 10,000 years, self-realization was attained by performance of great sacrifices. And Dwapara Yuga, when the duration of life was 1,000 years, self-realization was attained by worship of the Lord. But in the Kali Yuga, the maximum duration of life being 100 years only, and that combined with various difficulties, the recommended process of self-realization is that of hearing of the holy name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord. The sage of Naimsharya began this process in a place meant specifically for the devotees of the Lord. They prepared themselves to hear the pastimes of the Lord over a period of 1,000 years. By the example of these sages, one should learn that the regular hearing and recitation of the Bhagavatam is the only way for self-realization. Now, for us, what we want, what is the perfection? What we want to achieve? We want to hear Bhagavatam. What Paramahamsa does, he chants and he hears Bhagavatam. And what we are doing, we are also chanting and we are hearing Bhagavatam. Ours is a green mango and Paramahamsa is ripened mango. In Paramahamsa stage also we have to do the same thing, and now also we are doing. For us, the means and goal is same. In that way, it is very helpful for us. We need not try for it. Vyavasayatmika buddhi is very easy for a devotee because for him, the goal is not separate from the means. What we are doing now and what we are going to do after attaining the goal we are is same only. So goal and means, the means to attain the goal is same. In that way, it is very easy for a devotee, and which is not possible. See, for karma, jnana, and yoga, there is so much qualification needed. If you want to follow karma, so much is the qualification. We cannot just follow karma yoga. You need to know proper varna and dharma, and all the varnas related dharma are there. And know every day for a grahastha you have to perform pancha yajnas, and then there are so many. You cannot just eat food on the way what we are eating. First you have to cook, offer, then go outside and call if somebody is hungry. Hungry, you have to bring him inside, then feed the food, and like that. So the point is, it's very difficult to follow all the standards of karma in this age. We'll not know only. We cannot do karma yoga. People say, but not practical. And another important thing is karma yoga cannot be practiced by all classes of men. Shudras and lower caste, they cannot do karma yoga. You need to Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and some Vaishyas only can do. And whereas other two yogas, when it comes to Jnana and Ashtanga yoga, first thing is only men can do. That also they should be Brahmana or Kshatriya. Only that two category of the people can practice because you need to learn scriptures, and learning scriptures is not allowed for everyone. Of course, they can hear, but going to Gurukul and learning, that is only for men. That means the qualifications are very, very stringent. They're very tight. Not everybody is eligible. But this age of Kali, and everybody is not qualified. Nobody is qualified here. That is why bhakti method is given, which is very easy and very practical also. And by the example of these sages, one should learn that regular hearing and recitation of Bhagavatam is the only way for self-realization. That's all. No other, uh, no eligibility for this. Now, other attempts are simply a waste of time, but they do not give any tangible results. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached the system of Bhagavad Dharma, and he recommended that all those who are born in India should take the responsibility of broadcasting the message of Lord Sri Krishna, primarily the message of Bhagavad Gita. And when one is well established in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, he can take up the study of Srimad Bhagavatam for further enlightenment in self-realization. That's all. No method, no all these qualifications. So it's even we need not even think of practicing any other path. If we want to remain happy, we need to practice some sadhana. And the only sadhana, best sadhana for Kali Yuga is chanting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. That's all. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in the translation, it is said, in this way perform sacrifice, means by hearing they are performing sacrifice, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Krishna says na there are different types of sacrifice, almost some 30 varieties he gives. So one of the some many numbers he lists in fourth chapter. So one of the sacrifices hearing is also, is of course hearing transcendental message is sacrifice, which is we discuss na, why sacrifice is very important. Sacrifice not just putting ghee in fire. All these things are also sacrifice. In this case, the we are giving our time at trying to hear, understand, and by this sacrifice our ignorance is destroyed. We come to the platform of buddhi, and where we can burn our karma. That's how it happens. When a person is unconsciously performing, it actually increases his karma. If consciously we do anything, then we will not have karma for it. Consciously for pleasure of Lord. Tamna sandarshito dhatra dushtaram nishtirshitam kalim sattam harim pumsam karnadhara ivaranavam. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as the captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all good qualities of human beings. So this is again about Kali Yuga. So many things are there that they accept that Sudha Goswami is the captain for their ship, so that we will be able to cross. For us, especially in the process of bhakti, unless a mercy of Guru is there, nobody will be able to make it. What happens is we get caught up with many things. There are so many opportunities for sense gratification, and we easily get swayed away. We don't have Guru who is nicely observing us, nicely guiding, and nicely explaining things. If you don't hear regularly from gurus and senior Vaishnavas, it's just matter of time. I easily can take away anybody. It's not possible for people to do without Guru. So that's why he is telling that, okay, we are accepting you as Guru. Very important. And Prabhuji was also telling them on the previous discussion that Narada Muni is telling to Vyasdev, he said, even though you know it, I am telling, because people should not think that we can achieve on our own, only with the mercy of devotees. That's all. But the age of Kali is very dangerous for human being. Human life is simply meant for self-realization. But due to this dangerous age, men have completely forgotten the aim of life. In this age, the lifespan is lifespan will gradually decrease. People will gradually lose their memory, finer sentiment, strength, and better qualities. A list of anomalies of this age is given in the 12th canto of this work. And so, this age is very difficult for those who want to utilize his life for self realization. The people are so busy with sense gratification that they completely forget about self realization. Out of madness, they frankly say that there is no need for self realization because they do not realize that this brief life is but a moment on our great journey towards self realization. The whole system of education is geared to sense gratification. If a learned man thinks it over, he sees that the children of this age are being intentionally sent to the slaughterhouses of so called education. Learned men, therefore, must be cautious of this age, and if they at all want to cross over the dangerous ocean of Kali, they must follow the footsteps of the sage of Naimisharanya and accept Sri Sutta Goswami or his bona fide representative as the captain of ship. The ship is the message of Lord Sri Krishna uh, in the shape of Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a very, very nice purport Prabhupada writing. How human life is meant for spiritual relation and how it is so difficult in Kali Yuga, how the whole system is geared to send everybody to slaughterhouses, especially the so-called education institutions. That is the reason we need to take shelter of Guru, who is a representative of Srila Sutta Goswami. So it's very, very clearly Prabhupada is telling how we should be very careful. Of course, we can and see also nowadays uh, that time only Prabhupada is telling people are so busy for sense gratification. Now it has increased 100 times what was there 40 years back and what is now, because all the children have, previously they used to play outside nicely. Now children have video games. They don't even want to play outside also. They want to be in front of screen, in front of mobile and all. So it's very, very dangerous. What happens is actually, this is very important point. Maybe we should discuss on this. Ahara Shuddha, Sattva Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddha, Dhruva Smriti, Smriti Labdva, Sarva Granthi Vipramokshada. So when why it is important to have memory? This memory is the most important thing for human, because Ahara Shuddha, Sattva Shuddhi, our existence get purified when we eat. Sattva Shuddha, Dhruva Smriti. Smriti is memory. Memory becomes very strong. Why it is needed? Because without memory we cannot discriminate. This is called Vivek Shakti. What is intelligence according to Shastra is a person who has intelligence. Intelligence is basically buddhi, is what he has Vivek Shakti. One of the functions is Vivek Shakti. He has discrimination between what is right and wrong. But nowadays, what is happening? People are intelligent in terms of material manipulations and all, but they lost that Vivek Shakti. They cannot discriminate good or bad. They take alcohol, they take non-veg, they do all sorts of nonsense. They lost this discrimination, Vivek Shakti. Smriti Labdva Sarva Karanti Vimukha. Once you get this smriti, this memory, that proper understanding, then we'll be free from all the knots of this material existence. Sarva Granthi, the knots which are holding us in this material world, they can be removed when person has this intelligence, when person has proper memory. So then they have memory, finer sentiment, strength, and better qualities. This is possible when there is, of course, food should be sattva, and even when we hear, when we associate with such great personalities, then also it will help us in that way. So this is an important question. Next one, we'll just read and just I Bhuri Yogeshwara Krishna Brahmanye Dharma Varmani Swam Kashtam Adunopete Dharma Kim Dharma Kam Sharanam Gata. Since Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic, has departed for his own abode, please tell to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. This is the sixth question, and this is the main topic. Miss Chandrika Mataji had some.
Prabhuji, as in this verse you said, we met your goodness by the will of providence. So, and last days also you were explaining that how in a life of devotee everything happens by the will of the Lord. So Prabhuji, like when bad thing happens, when any bad thing happens to us, is it right way to say this is happening by the will of the Lord for my purification? Or is it because of my karma, as in Tattenu Kampam verse it is said? So how should
It
we say in a
is
right manner?
it is not our karma, it is arrangement of Lord to purify us, and we suffer because of our offenses. So because of our offenses, we have to go through, not because of karma. Our suffering is because of offenses. We should not
But
commit
it said that
offenses.
Prabhuji, we should say that we should matlab, we know that it is by the will of the Lord, but when bad thing happen, we should not say this is by Krishna is giving us. We should say it is as karma is coming because of
We can
my
say
bad.
it is not wrong to say it is Krishna's arrangement to purify me. That is also
Hmm.
not wrong. And
Okay.
that is also not wrong. Krishna is, and that is true also. Krishna is arranging for his devotees to purify them, and we should also know that this is all because of my offenses. When Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplaces, he thought, yeah, I committed offenses of hearing negative about Vaishnavas because he didn't do any offense. He didn't speak also. He didn't hear also. But he thought, maybe I committed some offenses. He gave some benefit of doubt like that. But as such, for devotees, it is not based on karma. They may feel maybe I have done so many sinful activities, that's why I'm getting. I deserve more, but Lord is out of kindness is just giving a token punishment like that. But it's not wrong to think it's Lord is arranging for me to purify is also right understand.
And Prabhuji, this memory and intelligence are different thing. You are saying by memory
One
we
of the
will able to
functions, Mataji.
discriminate.
Vichara Shakti is one of the functions. Discrimination, memory, these are the functions of buddhi. Uh,
Okay.
Vivek Shakti, Vichara Shakti, these are functions of Buddhi. Intelligence is not exactly defining Buddhi. We use in terms of Buddhi, one function it is like that, but in English it is not clear. Intelligence is little differently understood, but Buddhi is more clear. For us, Manas, Buddhi, we can clearly understand.
So buddhi is memory, Prabhuji.
Buddhi is Vivek Shakti, Vichar Shakti, of course. Dharana Shakti also. Yeah, memory also is buddhi. Part of memory is
So you said na, with memory we can discriminate. So this means like
uh,
we will be able to remember things what we have
first
learned.
when
Then
we
we
remember. Yeah, first is we remember, and when we remember, then we will be able to have this Vichara Shakti and Vivek Shakti. We will be able to
okay.
discriminate. Otherwise,
And
we
this
will
is
not be.
declining in Kali Yuga. So that's why
Uh,
people are going committing sinful activity because they don't know what they not
what
able
is
to
right,
remember
what is
what is
wrong.
right and wrong. So what is the way to Prabhuji improve this memory, Vichar
We,
Shakti?
we have to, our way of improving memories, eating prasadam, reading Bhagavatam, chanting holy. Our processes are very simple.
So it's a big question, but how to avoid this by this, as it is said in this, or they're sending to slaughterhouse and this media and all. It's becoming so much. We try to avoid, but how to avoid with children?
We cannot change the system much, Mataji, but we can give a favorable environment for them in the house so that they'll be able to practice and eventually come to know that what is the priority in life, what is right, what is wrong. They will be able to understand. So helping them by giving a very nice culture and very nice environment at house, spiritual environment. We have morning program nicely, and we may not force them to chant and all these things, but if you have nice program and you are having morning evening some katha, you discuss some stories of Krishna with them. If you are training in this way, and even then they will see after once one buddhi start developing from the age of 4 like that. Once their buddhi, and at the age of 15 it is completely developed. So by the age of 15 they will be able to discriminate. They will be able to see the materialistic world, and they will be able to see devotional life, and then they will make a choice. If you give nice devotional experiences for them, then they will make a right choice. They may make the choice maybe after 10, 15, 20, 30 years. But because they got a good experience, sometimes they want to experience the outside world before coming to devotional service. We may have to give the choice also, but they'll come back because they have had good experience. That's only we can do. That's how we can protect. We have to increase their sukruti by giving nice prasadam, nice experience in devotional. They should always have appreciation for devotees and devotional service. If you force them or trying to impose something on them, they will become negative. Give a nice experience. They should always appreciate devotees. They should appreciate devotional activities, and that's good enough. And because now we are in a setup, because they want to at least to have food and some shelter, they need to go to modern education system so that they can get jobs and all. If you send them to some traditional or something, we may not be able to give them a good career, which is also needed material stability for spiritual stability. We need to be materially stable so that to practice bhakti. If you have a job and some house and some salary is coming, so people can peacefully practice bhakti. That's what I.
But Prabhuji, but the challenge is with like we have not put TV and all. We have we have not put TV and all, but this phone has become a much more problem. So like for children, how much
And
we
give
should
you can
force them not to see these YouTube videos. We are giving them all spiritual activities, but this mobile is taking their life, Prabhuji. And now it has become necessity for everyone. We are using for spiritual life, but for them it's an adventure, Prabhuji. So we keep a watch also, but we cannot like in
you can
Balram
keep
Sakhi
filters in
Prabhuji
it.
said
You can
कि
keep.
not even one sense one photo, one video will take our consciousness away from Krishna. But here we are giving them, we have put so much effort since birth to give them Krishna consciousness to avoid sense gratification. But now this phone has become a big challenge, Prabhuji.
You have to keep some filters so that they will not be going something beyond. And also you can keep a timing. You can set the timing. You say, okay, you do these things, these activities for me, and I'll allow you with your videos. You have to give a regulation for them. You cannot stop it, but you can regulate it so that they know that uh, if you are sitting with them and you are also there when they are watching, you make an endeavor. You have to make extra homework to be with them, to watch what they are doing. And also you have to have some regulation for it. This homework, if you are doing, then you will be able to protect them. And after some time, after age of 15 and all, you have to give them freedom. Just tell what is right, and then they have to make choice. Because after that, if you force, it will only backfire. It will not help much. They have to make a
Sometimes we
choice.
get irritated ki all time we have to do this Krishna conscious activity only. We want to see other things also. So yeah, they becomes irritated sometimes, Prabhuji.
That's what we have to give them choice, because Krishna conscious is not by force. It's a conscious choice only by good experience. And if they have good association, some friends, or if they are if you uh, associate with some very nice families and all, and by seeing that, they will come. They should be in touch with some. You should help them develop friendship with devotees. Any devotee, boys, girls, they are there, we are nicely practicing, you can tell. You should help them to develop a friendship. That friendship will only will help them. Like some of the boys, they were connected to me from long. So because of that friendship, now after their college also, they continue because they have that friendship.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
And
it's a big
Prabhuji,
topic.
yeah, Prabhuji, I know, but just it touched a little bit, so I just thinking to ask. And Prabhuji, like for fasting also, do we need to force them or let them choose if they want to do or not for Ekadashi fasting, or is it compulsory, Prabhuji?
Ekadasi, you can give Ekadasi prasadam. They should not take grains, because that is
No, Prabhuji, like they are growing now, so sometimes they say ki what matlab, they don't feel like eating. So I just want to know, is it completely necessary that we force them? Yes, you
you
have
make
to keep
you
it.
make nice Ekadasi prasadam, so that they will. You tell them that I will not force of fasting from this all these things compulsory. Means you give them nice ekadasi prasadam, you tell this is good for health also. It scientifically the three levels it is good, spiritually also and mentally also and physically. On three levels it is good. Your body needs some break once in 15 days because it is eating. It will get some time to change. And then you need uh, mentally also it is good and spiritually also good, so you fast. And you give nice ekadasi prasadam also, it fills the stomach. Yes, Gail Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, you were saying that there is some distinction between buddhi and our English translation of intelligence. Some little distinctions here. Can you elaborate on what that distinction is?
Intelligence, they say only how he is able to discriminate. But when it comes to buddhi, it is also memory, it is also discrimination, it is also vichara shakti, the ability to analyze, all these things come. Basically, what the term they use in English is a conscious mind. For buddhi is conscious mind, not intelligence.
Vichara Shakti is be able to analyze Vichara Shakti.
हाँ, विचार शक्ति is discriminate. विवेक शक्ति, yeah, विवेक शक्ति, विचार शक्ति is विवेक.
So I think are there 5 components to buddhi? Are there 5? What are the components actually? You said discrimination and memory.
Memory
And what else?
Analyzing.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking, is Vichara Shakti and analysis?
Yeah.
So these I've heard 3 things then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 3 things only.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we'll end here. We have already crossed so much of our time. Thank you all very much. We'll meet tomorrow.